Right, I'm at Dazu. Dazu is famous for its rock carving. I'm outside at the entrance now, and usually in China you have, you know, people selling merchandises, food and stuff, and that's the entrance. So I'm gonna go in and tell you a little bit about the history. So let's get a ticket and go in. So that shows the price. You have 50 yuan per person. Think of Baodingshan Rock Carvings, Baodingshan Rock Carvings, they're all different prices. If you listen, people speaks in the Chongqing accent. I found it very interesting and appealing to listen to. I think some constructions behind here, maybe. There's a little map. There's a lady doing Tai Chi moves up there. I think, oh, actually a few ladies. Tai Chi is a very healthy exercise. Movements, get your blood flowing. And mountains area, there's a little music. I suspect that might be the entrance. So how are toilets in tourist areas? Well, look, I think, just quickly show you. Well, they do have doors, but I think this area, because it's a UNESCO site, so they have particular standards to maintain. Not all tourist areas here are, you know, they all have different standards. But this is a UNESCO site, so that makes the difference. So if you see this sort of, they're just making it not slippery because this place is really humid. That's what they're doing, carving, yes, carving stuff over, look. Okay, I didn't really take videos when I was walking around this site, but these are all carvings. Now, this particular site, Baodingshan North Mountain, is very different from Baodingshan, which I'll show you later. Now, this site is a distance away from Baodingshan, but so this site has more religious connotations. When you are looking through, you can see that there are not many stories, but they're all religious, symbolic, and so on. So this is very special. So you wouldn't see this anywhere, but this particular statue of Guan Yin is, you know, designed to look girlish, and normally the feet you aren't allowed to put it out. It needs to be stand straight. So the solution for this is to tilt the hip, but also tilt the face. But you wouldn't see this anywhere, but because there's creativity here in this region, you see this sort of carving. And in the museum in Baodingshan, you can see that each stone represents a site in this region. In Dazu, you have about, I think, 5 to 6 sites, and they all have different types of carving, but these are the only 2 which I think are worth viewing. Okay, this is Baodingshan, right? Look at the carvings, look. And this is, how many stories? How high? Well, there's a very special thing here. So in the past, in the late Song Dynasty, they were carving, and then halfway through in the Yuan Dynasty, the Mongolians came in, and eventually they came in, and this artists, they just left. And what happened is, you can see, you know, they carve halfway. You can see the structure of the carving. Actually, they're quite well planned before they carve the details. So here they are, right? Have a look. Amazing. And I think these are sandstone. So because of the humidity and the water coming down, right? You can see watermarks. This thing needs to be preserved. Otherwise, the water will erode away his carvings. But look at that, right? So they have structure. So they're carving halfway and then just leave this. So this leaves us a historical record of how things are done here. And they also wrote some information, captions near here. So there's some very special things here. That guy over there, that guy, the big guy, is the master of this person here, and he's the one who designed the whole thing. Okay, he designed the whole thing. He's Song Dynasty. Now I'm going to show you a few things. So there's some very special things here. That guy over there, that guy, the big guy, is the master of this person here, and he's the one who designed the whole thing. Okay, he designed the whole thing. He's Song Dynasty. Now I'm going to show you a few things. So from heaven, right? Bodhisattva leads you to hell. Now, why does it lead you to hell? Because there are people who have been committing, crimes and things that are forbidden. See how they suffer, right? Different kinds of suffer. You have your stomach gutted, right? You're being crushed, right? See that head being crushed, and various sort of punishments. What's interesting here is this girl. I think she's a celebrity now. Her act of rearing chicken, right? You see chickens, the two chickens pulling on a worm, and you have some chickens inside coming out. But she is in hell. Why? Because if you rear chickens, you've started something, right? Which leads to chickens being bought and killed. Now all these things are because you started something. So you're killing life, and killing life is considered punishable, and all kinds of punishment, right? So over here you have people who are drinking, right? Now drinking leads to various vices. So drinking, all these people are under here, which is the hell section, heaven section. And what happens is this guy, he drinks and he's touching his mother's breast, right? And you have, so all these things, are depicted here. Once you drink, you are, right? Acts of sexual violence or abuse. And punishment, you have your tongue cut out, and you have your knees being chopped, right? And these are all punishments related to hell. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so up one stairway from down there where hell is, you have the heavenly section. Now what the heavenly section is that if you give up on your vices, you are allowed to come out to one level, and this level is usually a better life, right? So what sort of better life? You can see that life is better, no punishment, but you're still not the best. But if you keep doing, following Buddha's teaching, keep doing good, you will have reward. And what the reward is the a large bungalow. Okay, so all these are rewards if you do good. And I was asking, so if say I'm a professor, I've taught many students, I've done really good work helping people, right? Eventually I will get a large bungalow somewhere, right, in heaven. So another thing is, Professor Sun is a national level artist. He's saying that usually for Buddha, right, usually you aren't allowed to carve a Buddha. There's only half the body, it needs to be full body. But over here in in over here in Chongqing, in Dazu, there are many Buddhas that are half a body, and this just shows that the emperor is too far away. Over here in Dazu, they're just geographically very far, so they don't need to care for the rules, right, and regulations. They can be very creative, right, very creative. Here, over here, you can see that the people above, they look they're quite good looking, but underneath here there are people who are not that good looking. In fact, look at how ugly they are. Look, right? It's really ugly. Look at that. Now what happened is, because these people, they do not follow Buddha's teaching, right? So they have become then right, depicted in a very ugly way. Just ugly, if you don't, right? And there's a lady here who is playing a flute, and there's a monk there. Actually, this is a story about them laughing at the monk or something like that. I don't know. So this entire area, look, right, entire area is just full of carvings. These are scenes of family, scenes of mother treating the children really well. You have you know, suckling on the breast, you know, giving the best for the child. Also pregnancy, you know, giving birth, right, and taking care of the child, all under Buddha. So these are stories that are closer to, I would say, the society at the time, rather than more religious. So these are creativity demonstrated here. Okay, there's a cave here with Bodhisattva. Just to quickly show you, look at the two dragons. And this place has collapsed before, so nobody's allowed to go in. Some text. Where am I? This is the Buddha with 1,000 hands, and originally this is an archaeological sculpture. It's completely broken, and there are little parts which has not been restored. So they restored it in the museum earlier. You can see pictures of them completely broken, but over here you see that restored to full glory, and 1,000 hands, and each hand has a meaning. I'm going to show you closer. So let's move slightly in, and you can see that each hand carries some sort of item, right? From sword to beads to a ship even, I think. Various kinds of items. They all mean different things. So usually they say you can't take photos of Buddha, but if you don't treat this as Buddha, that's fine. You treat it as an artwork. This indeed is an artwork, because it's in this region where they design stories, right? So there are, you know, some areas, look, grey part that hasn't been restored. Okay, so you can see remnants of those areas. But this is beautiful, aren't they? This is the site. I mean, from the side you can see how glorious this is. What are these? Okay, these statues are distorted slightly, so the top is actually much bigger, and the bottom is of the actual size that we see, and they're also slightly tilted forwards. Now this is to create an effect where, because it's so big, right, when we look from the top, we wouldn't look at the head as if the head is too small, because of the effect of perspective. So early days, they already have this sort of calculations. Remember that Plato also has image making. This is a distortion in image making, where the top is built bigger and the bottom smaller. So this place is actually a U-shaped, right from that place where we walked from all the way to the Thousand Hand Buddha to this area. That's the original entrance in here, and there's a tiger warning you about this place, I think. Using the cow's life cycle to depict the discipline of man. I can't tell you anymore.